We are back with the Hellbreaker sequence. And I thought you were doing like some sort of hand gesture in front of the screen, Connor. I thought that you were doing like
Oh
this
yeah.
or something like that, but you were just like moving something. Yeah, I was really
Oh yeah,
confused.
rock on, guys.
that's the hand sign for love. This is rock on.
Right, rock
This
on.
is love. This is rock on. This is I serve the devil.
Right. At least that's what you're. At least that's what you're. Oh, Carly, you're
That's
you're
yeah.
you're
Good.
muted, Carly.
Good to know. Good to know.
I said no, that's Quiet Coyote.
Oh,
Sure. Okay, so we are back with the Hellbreaker sequence, and you guys just burst in on an angel defending a tapestry of impossible geometries. Yeah, so y'all are standing there, and you see this. He's holding a sword and a trumpet, and what do you do? You have a moment to react before he'll probably just attack you.
Um. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong set of moves.
are there family moves for the New Horizon that we get?
The family moves, those are like zoomed out moves. That's what they mean.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. The inheritance moves are the ones you get from your family, and you got the dream one, and then Carly got the Night Stalker one. So.
I mean, I think Episkiadzos is just going to lash out with words of power and madness.
Yeah, we're going into a fight. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
just twist it, break it, bend it, mold it, shape it,
Stick it in his
bop
stew.
it,
stop, upgrade it.
polka dot it. Wow, there's a bunch of different things we just did there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Connor went to Lord of the Rings. I was doing Daft Punk.
I did
bop it.
Caleb
went to bop it.
And then the hoedown throwdown. Anyway, so you're gonna do fiercely assault, I assume.
Yes.
When you use an appropriate weapon to hurt, capture, or drive off your enemies, roll plus force. On a hit, you do it. Do it.
All right.
And then they can have.
Oh my.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, after failing to roll as well as you'd like, say what another character nearby can do to boost your efforts. If the group agrees, the helper says how they do it and rolls an appropriate stat. Do either of you want to help fight this angel?
Not particularly. I think this is a little out of her wheelhouse.
Caleb, help me here, though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that says 6 minus. That doesn't say less than 6. Okay, that was weird. I mean, I think this is a point where Paleocosmo could definitely help.
Yeah, he also has words of madness and power. You gonna join your father?
Yeah, what does that do?
Join me, and we can rule the galaxy. Basically, you're just like, what if you're gonna help? You roll. What do you roll?
Force, right?
And rolls an appropriate stat. Yeah, so you'd also be rolling force. So what does this look like, though, Polycosmos, before you roll? Like, is it literally just you just instinctively, like, fall in line behind your dad and start shouting words of madness and power? Also, what do the words of madness and power look like? Please describe these to me. Like, what is this actually looking like for both of you? I guess that, that's probably a question for Josh. Like, what are the words of madness and power? How do they function? Like, what are they exactly?
I mean, I think to someone who sees in terms of the energies and the musics holding things together, like Paleocosmo. No, sorry, not Paleocosmo, like Episkiadzos.
Yeah.
This is going to throw me off for a bit, not going to lie. I like the names, but it's going to be challenging. But like Episkiadzos sees the words of madness and power as sort of like black twisting threads.
What are you actually saying? Are you like singing? Are you chanting? Are you just speaking?
I think it's like a slightly melodious form of like a black speech.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like
kind of like a weird kind of like drone almost as you like.
No, less drone and more. It's got a lot of tonality to it.
Mm-hmm.
Goes up and down, and it feels on the edge of musical, but there's a lot of hard stops. There's glottal stops. There's I don't remember the name for it, like the clicking sound that some languages have.
Mm-hmm.
And so just when you think it's getting somewhere, it stops and it twists, and it's jolting and halting, and
it's discord.
It's discordant, exactly.
Cool, awesome. But like to you, it appears as like black threads because like you can see into the energy that is around you. Yeah.
It's black threads, but they kind of chain and twist and overlap each other in ways that shouldn't be possible even in 3D space. Imagine the Penrose triangle.
Yeah. Do other people see these black threads like visibly?
I would think that the more attuned you are with the musics, you can see it more or less. I think it's likely anybody who's sufficiently advanced in any of the musical arts could do it, or could see it, but
okay.
I'm not sure if I suspect.
What does it look like when you actually hurt someone with it exactly?
What's
actually happening?
It's literally doing damage to the integrity of the music in their soul.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's pain, it's twists, it's contortions.
Yeah.
It's limb spasms. More severe cases, it's actual physical deformation.
Yeah.
Occurring immediately. Side effects may include moderate to severe death.
Awesome. Cool. Go ahead and roll Force Paleocosmo. All right, that's a failure.
Oh no.
If they fail, your result drops to a 6-, and they share in the consequences.
Oof.
Yeah, so you both fail this. Nasia, are you just booking it? He's trying to escape. Okay, yeah. So you take off down the hallway. You're like, nope. And all right, on a failure, obviously you fail to fight off the Forgotten Herald. And let me look at what I want to do for a GM move. I guess I probably shouldn't just be saying that, I'm going to do a GM move now, but, whatever. I don't know them well enough to just do it off the top of my head. I think what it is just more harm is dealt. You just basically both get wounded pretty severely because of the battle. Like this angel, right? He rushes in and is not only like blasting on his trumpet, like probably right away. That's probably what he starts off with, right? Is like this. Actually, you know what? I don't think he has a trumpet. I think he has just the sword, but he like is like singing when he comes, right? He sings this battle cry basically this like major key battle cry, and then rushes into combat. And as you guys are like, yelling these words of power at him, he's dodging around you, and then he'll weave in, and he's basically flying, right? Like he's not, his feet aren't really touching the ground. He's just kind of like hovering around you guys, and he'll get like twists behind you as you try to do a word of power, and then he'll like slash at your side, right? And his sword isn't like a normal sort of sword. It is almost like it's like doing damage to the music of your soul, right? And so like instead of leaving like blood right behind him, there's like smoke starts to pour out of your guys' wounds, right? This obvious like the discord is being drawn out of you is kind of what's happening, right? Like he's attacking the discord itself. But yeah, I think each of you mark 3 harm boxes.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean this is a Forgotten Herald. So you're right now, Connor, you are, or Polychiosmos, you are hurt, which means you have a -1 to a stat. Obviously, it's going to be probably -1 to force. Makes sense. So you now have a -1 in total with force. What does that look like for you?
It should be a lore. I hit my head.
How funny. What does that look like for you, Episkadzos?
The harm that I've taken?
Yeah.
I am beset, twisted, and haunted, which means -1 lore, -1 force, -1 sway.
Yeah, you don't have good harm boxes.
No.
Yeah, so that, I mean, you guys are like bleeding smoke, and the herald is standing before you basically, and he says in a voice that almost is singing, right? Let's see, how does he say this? And thus I slay thee. And he like is just holding the sword before him and like standing before you guys. What do you do next, right? Like you've lost the combat, but you're not dead. And he's like standing and basically like waiting. He's like getting ready to like finish you off, sort of thing. He's like, I will leech the discord from your bones.
Caleb?
Mm-hmm.
I have with me the start of a rite of great power.
Yes, you do.
The right greater unmaking, give or take, something to that effect.
Okay.
What do I need to do
To just make up the
unleash
rest of it?
power? To unleash power with this start of this rite of power.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the move, right? You're unleashing power with a device, and the device is this start of a ritual. So the GM gives you a few clues to what it can do. I think that's totally fine, right? Like it's the beginning of the ritual sort of goes like, everything ultimately goes back to the void, right? Like the magical words that you're actually saying, this is like the translation of them, right? Like, we came from the void, we will return to the void, the night is deeper than any illumination. It's along that vein. And so I think the guess is good that this might be some sort of like unmaking ritual, right? Like bring back the void, like turn a creation into an uncreation. I think that's a good guess. You can try to, if that's what you wanted to do based on the clues. I think that's makes a fair assessment.
Okay.
And so you're just gonna basically like improv the rest of the ritual and just try it.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Yeah. So you can roll plus lore. Unfortunately, you do have a -1 lore at this point because of your harm.
So my bonus is only +2.
Only +2.
There
There you go. Perfect. All right. Unleash power. On a 10+, pick 3 of those 4 options.
All right. The device does exactly what you wanted.
Okay.
It unmakes the herald.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You get to pick
Unmakes?
2 more.
Unmakes.
mean,
The
it is a
music,
robot.
the music inside unravels.
Yeah.
The whole thing falls to its constituent atoms and is no more.
Yeah.
Pick 3. You don't rouse other devices in your environment.
Yeah, that's a good option.
Not gonna wake up whatever else is in here. And the device can be used again.
Okay. That means you do not avoid the device's side effects.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. I think... What is a good side effect for this, right? You're unmaking something. What does that require of you? Like, the easy answer would be, oh, you lose some other part of your body instead of your eyes, but I feel like that's too simple.
I mean, the act of creating is a sort of act of putting out part of oneself, putting a part of oneself into one's creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to uncreate, one must remove that self. So it would follow that there ought to be a cost to a personal cost.
Yeah.
But whatever that cost needs to be. I mean, I think I know what the cost. I know what I want the cost to be.
What do you want the cost to be?
I want the cost to be something, some form of harm to Paleocosmo.
Right. I mean, yeah, that seems like a good side effect, right? The act of unmaking is a too large scale of an act to be confined to simply one creature, right? Like, there's some of the unmaking. Oh, you know what it is? Polychiasmo. Or Polyocosmo. You lose all of the memories that you've gained from this person's life. They're all just gone. And you're left with this emptiness, this absolute void where you only remember your horrible life.
Well, that sucks. And this is because of my dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I could very easily blame him, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna attack him.
Oh.
Yeah, so you see the effects of the ritual, and there's just, right, this angel literally implodes upon itself, right? I think what happens is it basically just, like, starts to, like, get sucked into some infinitesimal point, and it just gets crushed, and then suddenly it just blinks out of existence. And all that is left is, you know, this single sword, you know, left on the ground. And you, Polychiasmo, like, you kind of get lurched towards that, like, implosion, right? And, like, by the front of your forehead, right? Like, that's what's kind of, like, being pulled, like, magnetized almost. And, like, you fall to the ground, and you can almost see, because of your connection to the Discordia, right? This, like, ephemeral wisp that, like, comes out of your mind and into the infinitesimal point and just disappears. Those memories are completely lost forever to the void, and they don't exist anymore. And I think you know that your armband probably also doesn't have any of the memories. Like, it's probably all just gone.
So I think it starts with a like word fight, right? I'm like, you just destroyed all of my memories. All of them.
They were never yours to begin with. They were stolen. Artificial. You never lived them. You never loved them. It was a farce.
I'm gonna kill you.
Are you now? are you now? Your own father, the only reality you have in your own little world of fantasy.
Wow.
I mean, that's completely fair. You have no other memories but him, right? Like,
What will you have when I'm gone? What will you have anchoring you to reality?
Freedom.
You wish to walk around in freedom with a hole in your heart. A space where you cannot... You know something's missing, but you cannot put your finger on what it was or why it was important to you.
Then give them back. The memories.
I cannot. They are gone. But I know how you can find release.
And killing you?
The Tannerin.
Oh dear.
The Tannerin can find you release. Open yourself to them. They will give you power. Power. And release like you've never experienced before.
and I think both of you are realizing at this point, like, there's something tugging at your soul, and distracting you from this conversation. And I guess maybe both of you just like almost distractedly look over at the pedestal and you see this tapestry, right? That's like laying there. That's the impossible geometries. It's almost like it's calling to you, to both of you. And
I
real quick,
run to beat him to it.
oh, okay. Real quick, I think nausea also, right? Like you're like halfway out, and the fight finishes, and you feel this call as well, right? Like,
yeah. I was gonna say her curiosity gets the better of her, and she runs
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah. Is it literally just race to the to the tapestry?
I think Episkiadzos is going to kind of do some kind of a translation to the pedestal as opposed to walking. Something you've never seen him do before, but he's not quite there and all there at the same time. Grabs it. Basically gets there the same time Paleocosmo does.
What are you doing exactly?
Just playing around with the idea of forbidden paths without actually using it, because I don't know that.
Right. So
like,
instead of
there's
just
no
running,
purpose to
you're
using
like,
it as a whole mechanic, but he's basically
that
sliding
makes sense.
sideways.
Yeah, just as like a flavor thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, flavor thing. Because the whole place is warped, a bit warped and twisted anyway after what just happened. So
yeah,
you can kind of slip
I think,
sideways through it all.
Yeah, and I think you guys can see in here simply because there's probably one or two relics that are glowing, and so that's why you guys could see and fight and stuff like that in here without the emergency light still on.
Oh yeah, we didn't ever answer that, did we?
We didn't ever answer that, but it's fine. And honestly, the Forgotten Herald was probably also glowing, so yeah. But nausea, you're also right. You probably like are jumping through the shadows and trying to reach it as well. So let's have everyone roll something. I guess it's just diffuse with steel, probably. Unless someone has another way that they're attacking, getting this thing instead of just quickness. Was that your roll to get it, Connor? The 11? Or was that... Okay. Oh, yeah. Did you also roll, Josh?
I did. Yep, I rolled an 8.
Okay. All right. So, obviously, in terms of this, that means how do you pronounce it? Paleocosmo, yeah. He gets there first, right? He's the person who actually touches the thing first. And then Episkiadzos, you get the 7 and 9. So there's a cost to securing safety. The danger will soon return, or the danger is still present but threatening someone or something else. In this context, there's a cost to getting there at the same time as your son. It's a temporary solution. Or so like you'll probably grab it first and then he'll immediately get it from you, sort of a thing. Or I'm not sure how the third one really fits in this context, but
right. I'm okay with getting there first and having him wrench it from my hands.
Okay, yeah. So he uses this, and it's probably what it is, right? Is like you're using your like shadow shifting whatever, right? But it's not working correctly because you're like wounded, and there's discord bleeding from you and stuff. And so you do it, and then you kind of grab it, and then you like shift backwards a little bit, and then he like comes and like and grabs it instead. Nausea, you obviously failed.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think what happens is you accidentally, what actually happens, because you're like, you probably come at it from a you're trying to sneak, right? You're basically like coming in through the shadows and then kind of like trying to catch everyone by surprise and grab it. And what actually ends up happening is you run into one of the other relics.
Oh.
And it just kills you. Right?
Oh.
Like it just instantly like it's just it causes harm, right? Because you have one harm box left.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally like the harmonia touches you and fills your soul with such music that you just burst. Like your soul explodes. And of course, what that means is when you die, terrible energies plague the area. Those that brave the maelstrom can find a device on your body. So all of these things happen at once. So, Episkiadzos, you reach the thing first. You touch it first. If you want to, you can roll Unearthed Forgotten Lore to know something about it, right? You found some sort of significant thing in that moment of clarity and like connecting minds with it, sort of a thing. So that's lore if you wanted to do that.
Okay. I'm going to draw on the point of data that I accumulated earlier.
To roll with advantage?
For advantage on this roll.
Do it.
That was not at all in the text box. I don't know where I typed it out, but it wasn't in the text box.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, so 12.
Right, that is a 12.
Yeah, so you get to ask 3 questions. You get 1 data back, so you got your data back, and you get 3 questions to ask from those 4 in Unearthed Forgotten Lore.
Is it a wonder or a horror?
It is. It's a good question. Like in your context, I think it is a horror. It's a wonder to you. It would be a horror to someone who's not in touch with the Discordia, and that's why it's here. It's not. Okay. It's not to be preserved. It's to be defended from misuse. Right. It's the thing that should never leave this vault.
Okay. What dangers is it hiding?
What dangers is it hiding? The impossible geometries on, like, it's that moment in Oathbringer. Well, it's just not in Oathbringer particularly, but like the whole like diagram thing, right? It's that moment of pure brilliance where you can literally see the future. You're so intelligent. That's the sort of mind-boggling knowledge that this thing contains. But you know that if you don't approach it properly, your mind will just explode. And it's almost a good thing that you didn't hold it for more than a second, because your mind might explode without proper precautions.
And how can I turn it to my advantage?
Good question.
Is this tied in with my agent quest?
I think it is. I'm wondering how to do it though, because one answer to this question could be, how can you turn it to advantage? Oh, I know. Okay. You know, because of what happened with the void unmaking thing, your son has a hole in his mind. He can touch this thing and not instantly implode, at least for a while, because of that absence, right? His mind is used to having a certain amount of ready information, and this thing, even as mind-boggling as it is, it's just that absence is just enough to kind of like hold it, even if it is like a wineskin about to burst. It's still enough for a little while. And so you know, if you can just let your son take it and then have him bring it, you can probably make the journey all the way back. If you just reconcile with your son, if you have him be like, yes, come back with me, we'll figure this out together, right? Like, see, he'll probably have some sort of thing that happens to him where he's like, oh, all this knowledge, right? He'll be like, yeah, come back with me, and everything, you'll be able to bring this knowledge back to our people. You'll be a hero. These memories are good. And then as soon as you guys get there, his mind will probably break. And then, by that point, it will be with the other monstrous servants. You guys can probably figure out how to unlock its secrets without making your minds explode. Basically, you use him as a vessel long enough until his mind breaks from the immensity of this thing. That's how you can turn it to your advantage. Because the biggest problem is transporting it.
Mm.
So yeah, if you let your son be the sacrifice.
Okay. I think it's in that moment of realization that Paleocosmo gets his hands on the other end of the tapestry. And Episkiadzos loosens his grip.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't drift backwards. He doesn't lose control of his shade shift.
He does it intentionally.
Just lets it go.
Yeah. So Paleocosmos, Cosmo. I can never get that name right. You touch the Arras. And as I said, right, where this absence in your mind, that was once filled with a memory, because you've been probably taking these memories for a long time, right? You remember 2 lives, basically, is what it is, right?
Right.
You have this, half of your mind is basically empty at this point. And so when this moment of pure clarity fills your mind, the impossible geometries of this tapestry filling your mind and then expanding your mind to the point where you can almost see into the future, right? Like you understand like how to you understand how to conquer the world, basically, right? Like with you as the head of the new harmony, you could conquer the world if you wanted to, right? Like you could outguess every enemy. You could perfectly predict every strategy. And you're just sitting there in that moment of pure brilliance, knowing that you are the most intelligent man ever to exist, right? What do you do in that moment, at least?
And Naja's dead.
You have one moment of like reveling in his brilliance, and then she'll explode, and things will go wrong.
Oh, I haven't exploded yet?
No.
That's really sad because I was texting Carly and trying to see if she would team up with me. Because literally in my kit it says, when you break your family's code, roll plus steal. On a hit, they have higher priorities in punishing you. On a 10 plus, get a fleeting advantage when you socialize with their rivals or enemies. And I was like, that's perfect. But nope.
I mean, yeah, she failed the roll and died.
Well, I attack my dad. I want to use the power.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the future, right? You know exactly how to kill him. You attack him?
Mm-hmm.
You're on ATM.
Yeah, basically you're on ATM right now. That's what's happening. Okay, yeah, make a force roll, right? You're attacking him.
Crap.
Oh no.
Don't I get an advantage or something like that since I'm holding this thing?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Oh, so you just fill my head with
you're right. I mean, advantage. No, you're right. You're right. Advantage is a mechanic in this game, and we can use it. So yeah, roll one more d6. No matter what, you won't have a failure at this point. Yeah, so it's still a 7 and 9.
9.
It's an 8.
Oh yeah.
Because you had the -1 modifier. But yes, it's
Well,
a
the minus 1
7.
modifier was already added to the original 6, so it's 9.
No, but I didn't get the 1. I got to drop the 1, so that's a 9 minus 1.
Oh, right, because it's advantage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still 7 and 9 category.
It's, yeah, it's still relevant.
Okay, so look at the fiercely assault category. And I'll actually let you, Josh, choose from the GM list because you're the person being attacked right now. Right? So you choose 2 from the GM list, and then Connor, you choose 1 from the character list. So you do it, right? You hurt your enemy, so you'll deal harm, right?
You inflict savage, terrifying harm, frightening and dismaying your foes.
Okay. What are your choices, Josh?
Oh no, I can't do what I want to do. Because I can't return my own fierce assault at this point. I'm probably dead.
Yes.
If I say you take harm as appropriate, can I kill him outright as well and drag him into my own little?
Yep. Yep. You
Okay.
absolutely
You
can.
take harm as appropriate. Is 1. And others will come after you.
Yeah, I figured that would be the.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, you know what that means. You guys get sequestered into your own personal nightmare realm, and you know where obviously that is. That's in the world of shadow, and what lives in the world of shadow? The Tannerin. And they'll probably come after Paleocosmo.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
All right, so 3 death moves happen at the same time here.
You know what that means?
Yeah,
you know what that means?
I know. Nausea also comes with you into this.
No.
Okay, so but let's do these one at a time, right? So basically what happens is you attack, with your words of power, Paleocosmo. You attack your father with your words of power, and you both just die, right? Like you guys engage in this battle, and the words of power start to rip each other up, and then Nausea explodes. Terrible energies plague the area, right? So there's just like energy, and then there's just like nightmare energy flowing everywhere. The vault is probably just like trashed, right? This place will not be a place of harmonia anymore. And those that brave the maelstrom can find a device on your body. So technically, Nausea's body, like physical body, is probably still here. And if someone braves the weird nightmare energies that are now filling this vault, they can find a device later on in the campaign if anyone ever comes back here. Then we're gonna deal with Paleocosmo's death move. What happens when you die, Paleocosmo?
Wait, say the other death move again.
That was Carly's, right? When you die, terrible energies plague the area. Those that brave the maelstrom can find a device on your body. So basically, the nightmare stuff fills this vault. But anyone who comes here in the future, they can find a device if they go to the middle of the maelstrom. Yeah.
Okay. For me, it's your family finally respects your outlook. Say a way they change in your honor.
All right. What changes about the new harmony because of you?
I don't know. I don't really want to decide that, especially because I just killed Josh's character. Now I feel bad.
Honor?
I mean,
this has been one of the most fantastic moments of any character I've created in an RPG. I am loving every moment of this. Okay? And actually, I like this. Make your call, and I will play along.
Yeah, what are they changing? I mean, the obvious thing, right, is that
the whole point of this game is that the families kind of change over time.
Yeah, that's the whole point of this game. Is nothing is sacred. Everything needs to change, which is why all 3 of you dying is a perfectly acceptable outcome.
Yeah.
what is the thing they changed? I mean, the obvious thing would be something about the before, right?
Right. Yeah, I would say just like I create traditionalists. My legend creates traditionalists within the new harmony, and so I'm not going to say that like I changed the whole country, but like
Yeah.
I've created a sect of people that are following down the same path of like, you know what, let's stop driving off of this and let's think about what's before and try to head backwards.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're a respected and established sect.
Yeah.
Right.
And not just
So
some
it's a
fringe
legitimate
belief.
way of looking at it. Yeah.
Right.
It's a legitimately, I wouldn't say accepted doctrine because they don't specifically have doctrine.
Yeah.
It's more just like, listen to the monstrous servants. But I think
maybe one of the monstrous servants.
More than one. I think a small handful, not a majority by any means, but enough of them recognize Paleocosmos' belief and say, hey, we did actually lose some good things in the shadowing.
We could do a synthesis of the best parts of the new and the best parts of the old.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, what happens when you die, Paleocosmos or Epskiatzos?
Warlock. When you mark off your sequestered box, you are yanked out of this world and locked in your own personal nightmare realm. You can't escape on your own. But all of those who die with you in the same scene will end up there as well. With their help, you may as well all come back to life.
That's absolutely amazing.
Okay, so
I love this playbook to death. Oh my word.
Okay, so let's take a step back here and think about what we want this to look like. Is this, we end the session right now, and then we return at some point to these three characters and find out how they escape the Nightmare Realm? Is this, it's a given they're going to escape the Nightmare Realm, and so we are going to see them sometime in the future, and they're all changed? Like, what is this going to look like? Because I think the way it's worded there is kind of up in the air which one it could be, because it says, with their help, you may as well all come back to life, right? Like, if other people die with you, then there's a chance of escape. So I don't know. It's totally up to you guys what you guys are interested in doing here.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I think the most interesting part's already happened. And to have them kind of return, Epskiatzos realizing that, hey, maybe his son's got a bit of a point. You know what? Actually, maybe that's what happens. Is that they return, all three of them. And Epskiatzos maybe has a moment of clarity. Maybe, you know what it is? Well, because Connor, or Paleocosmo would have seen enough from his time with the tapestry that he probably had the right arguments to sway his father.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I honestly think if you guys all come back, I think Paleocosmo becomes the Arras. Like, I think his time in the Nightmare Realm, in the own personal Nightmare Realm, right? I think in all of the stuff that happened with all the deaths and the energies and all that stuff, I think it basically makes it so he can actually hold all the stuff in his mind, and he becomes the living Arras, right? Like, he becomes the tapestry itself, the relic that can lead to hope in a new direction for your family. And the new direction is the new look on the before.
Yes. And I think Epskiatzos comes back as one of the leaders of this new faction, or this new belief set. I like that.
Yeah. Everybody fine with that outcome?
Yeah.
Cool. Then I think what we do is we zoom out and let's handle a couple of faction things. Because I think
Yes.
right, your faction changes here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there will definitely be, right, because it's mark when people need a symbol and give them hope and direction. Name a treasure of the next world to help them. It ended up being a treasure of the world of before. What is it exactly that you want to try to accomplish through this? Like, what is the exact? Because I guess what I'm asking is, did you find a surplus? Is that what this is? Like, what is the actual like benefit to your family here, mechanically?
We had a need, did we not?
Yeah, you had a couple of
For
needs.
luxury?
Yeah, you had a need for luxury.
What happens if our faction embraces the technology and
luxury of the before.
materials of the before?
Yeah.
It doesn't. So my question is, do I get that does that become a surplus, or do I just get to remove the need? How does that work?
That is a good question. Let's look. I think it could go either way. It just depends on the severity of it. Let's see. I feel like I don't know. I could see it either way. I'm trying to decide, honestly.
Because there's not really there's a finding a surplus movement.
Right.
There's also
yeah, let's look. I'm gonna look at.
There's also the power-up move. When you boost your actions of a Marvel of Before or Anomaly of the Fall, spend a point of tech to give a roll advantage. And then
Let's see.
And then I could use the claim by force to direct a family to seize or maintain control of a resource.
Okay, so the way this works is it has a little noting here on surplus and need. If a need could be met by a surplus, erase both. So I think in this instance you are getting a surplus of luxury, but you have a need of luxury, so they cancel out. I think that's what that means. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So you no longer have the need luxury, which also means your general mood of your faction goes from being -1 to +0. Which that mood is what you use for a lot of different things. Most importantly, when your family needs to hold together to resist hardship, temptation, or infighting.
Can we go to the family page, please?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
That makes sense. There's your stuff right there. So now you have a +0.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So is there what's next for the new harmony? Like so obviously they take this new direction, but where does that lead them exactly? Right? So in terms of, they change their kind of culture, they've gotten luxury because they're using this technology from the before. What's the next step if that's the direction they're going?
Well, I think the next question is going to be, okay, rare materials.
Mm-hmm.
Just strictly needs and surpluses.
Yeah.
Kind of maneuvering.
Mm-hmm.
I think rare materials to supply this newfound, enjoyment of luxury and or prestige. I could go either direction next time, and I guess I'm not totally clear which way I want to go.
Okay, yeah, just leave it there and think about it.
You know what? I think I'm going to go after rare materials. I think they're okay with being the dark underculture for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're on the lookout for strange foci now.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, I mean, that worked out pretty well.
And I should still have one data. Yep, I have one data. Cool.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So
I did I start with data or did I generate that data this session?
You generated 2 data this session and spent 1, so that's why you have 1. Yep.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, and we can, New Harmony can go other places from there. But I think the last thing we need to do is with Iseret and Harahel, they need to have zoom out things, right? So when you zoom out, I guess we kind of did this out of order, but
hang on.
yeah. Go ahead.
You have a special ritual that beckons eldritch powers into the world. The next time your family, or do I have to make the Enlightened Madness move, or does it just trigger anytime I discard a 1, 2, or a 3, thanks to disadvantage or advantage?
Oh, yeah. I guess I must. Yeah. Did you?
I did that several times, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and take a look. I forgot.
So
I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
So I see 1. I don't have timestamps on here, but rolled, it was a 3d6 plus 2, rolled for a 14. I see a discarded 3, I believe. That was 3d6.
Did you say a 1 and a 3 so far?
Yes.
Looks like you also discarded a 2, right at the bottom here.
Sorry, a 2 and a 3.
Oh,
I count 1 instance, 2 instances.
Got it.
Discarding a 2 and a 3.
Okay.
And do I get once a row is a sequence from 1 to 3 in any direction. Stars align, you're considered infused. The quality next to the 3. Okay.
When you evoke this power before your family or character takes this action. Yeah, so something related to those concepts.
Spend an infused dice to set one of the dice to 6 without rolling. Yeah. Once all the infused dice are gone, you're no longer considered infused.
Lit.
Let's stick this 3 in the middle row to lore instead of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And then we'll put the 2 next to it.
You got it.
Because lore has been pretty useful so far. Granted, I built a lore character, so we'll see, but...
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, so when events move from zoomed in scenes to the bigger picture and actions covering weeks and months become important, each player whose main character wasn't involved picks one. So we're not going to do it when someone isn't actually at the session, but just when they've played quick characters, just because otherwise it would probably stack up really, really quickly with these special things that they get. So Connor and Carly, your main characters, get to pick one from these zooming out choices. So if you want to look at the story moves and zooming out, it could be they found a new place in their family, changed their role. They went scavenging in the wasteland, add 1 tech to their family stock. They scouted for information, describe a lead that might give you a new surplus or remove a need, and get 1 data. They helped out another family or faction, gain 1 treaty on them. They discovered a new danger, describe it, and say which other family or faction it's threatening.
Well, I already kind of know that Harahel scouted for information.
I mean, that's what he did before, but this could be something completely different, right? This is what he's been doing during the time this session happened.
Yeah.
But you could also have him scout for information again.
I mean, I don't know what else he would be doing. Like,
and this one would be describe a lead that might give you a new surplus or remove a need and get 1 data, right? So you could look at your surpluses and needs and be like, okay, which one of those do I want to get rid of or try to gain? Right, for you could try to you could scout a lead on prestige or safety or luxury, or you could try to get a new surplus.
Can I see the list itself?
Yeah, it's on story moves in the handouts. Zooming out is the specific move. There's a whole bunch of other surpluses that you could try to get too, right? Like you could try to get a surplus of any sort of resource, like artisans, barter goods, crops, defenses, energy, engineering, fresh water, land, medicine, morale, progress, rare materials, recruits, scavengers, scouts, spies, trade, transport, weaponry.
Where's the list of those things?
I don't know if there's a list of them in the handouts, but I can try to get a list of them up there for you guys at next session. It's also technically you can put anything there, like those are they're examples, but you can technically have a surplus or a need in any type of category you could think of in the apocalypse. You just make something up if you wanted to.
One tech their family stock. What is that?
One tech is like technology that you found. For families that they can use that to. Let me actually look. There's a place where it talks about that. Resources. You can always spend a point of tech as a character to roll advantage when you use the marvels of the world before to augment your family's actions. So you can use it for advantage. And I know there's another way you can spend those resources. Can't seem to find them. Here we go. Tech. Yeah, you spend when your families use technology to boost their roll. So family and characters can use it to boost their rolls, I think. And then characters can technically just oh, yeah, okay. So devices are tech. So you could also just say, I give this tech to my character, and they just have some sort of wacky device that I can use to make up random crap. Yeah, so what do you guys want to do?
I don't know. I feel like he would just be scouting for information, but I don't know what I could, what surplus I could get or what need I could get rid of there.
Maybe safety makes the most sense, right? Because right now
because he's more aware of the threat now.
Right, exactly, yeah. Because like the need for safety that you have means. Let me look at the actual definition of it here. A need for safety means that it feels like every time you blink, a new crisis assaults your family. Between health, safety, shelter, and innumerable other concerns, there's too many fires to put them all out, and there's no way you can keep this up without something going very wrong. So it could literally be like you're trying to scout out ways that you guys could be more defensible, right? Where you don't have to constantly worry about Tannerin threats or whatever else it is. And so you get a lead on that you can pursue next time we zoom in or as a character or whatever. Or honestly, you could also pursue it as a family too. And just make a roll to try to get the need or replaced. But then you also get, what was it, 1 data, it said?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep, sounds good. Yeah, so you have some sort of lead on getting safety removed as a need, and you get another point of data. So Harahel has been scouting out from information. What about you, Easterette?
I don't think you get a lead to remove the need. It says describe a lead that might give you a new surplus, or remove a need and get one
No,
data.
there's no comma there.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, fair enough.
Yep.
It's gaining a surplus or removing a need.
And you get one data. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with. I'm not so sure. I either want to go with getting rid of my need for prestige, or I want to go with getting rid of or a surplus of like ancient force or something like that to like get control of the Tannerin.
Mm.
A surplus of like magical creature. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it might even be just like weaponry, right? Like, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Like power, like magical power or arcane. Yeah.
What do you think is more interesting?
What would you be doing? I'm honestly interested in her searching out a lead to get rid of the need of prestige, because what that would look like for Iseret is she would be going around like proving herself to random people, right? She would be like, yeah, we're cool. The recollection is cool. See, I'm a hero. Like, you should pay attention to us, right? And that seems like something you start to do, right? That sounds really cool.
I'll go with that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and do you mark data for me then, or where does that go?
I can put it for you. Yeah, it's right below the main part of the sheet, right below your surpluses and needs on the sheet itself. So awesome. And then lastly, yeah, on the story moves, it says, right, like briefly describe what the character got up to, and then move to the family level, describing what actions your family organizations are taking. So yeah, I think we already kind of went through that though, right? Harhel is looking for various things to like. So is he probably looking at the Tannerin threat specifically? Is probably what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right, just trying to like find ways to fight against the Discordia and be safer against it. And then Iseret is traveling around with friend and doing cool things to gain notoriety for the recollection, saving people. What kind of stuff is she doing exactly? Like heroic, like goody stuff, or like what else?
You talking to me?
Yeah, Iseret. What is Iseret doing specifically to like gain notoriety? Like goody heroic stuff, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you get to start with like oh, help me because my lost lambs got out, and pick up this sack that I left in this other town, and you end up with
low level quests, yeah.
8 hours of fetch quests,
right,
before you get your first real combat.
No, not like that. But just like.
Oh, so Iseret bought a level boosting potion. I see.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Awesome.
Just little stuff like that. I see. Okay. I'm looking at the actions list, and I officially understand where everything is.
Awesome. Well, there you go. I think that's our session of the Hellbreaker sequence. That was a really good session. A lot of the stuff came together really perfectly. So that was cool. It did not go how I thought it was going to go at all. I had a whole bunch of other stuff planned for one possible version of this thing, and it was nothing like what I planned, but I liked the way it turned out a lot. So it's good. Awesome. Cool. Well, we'll be back next week sometime with another episode of the Hellbreaker sequence. Thanks for joining us, guys. Adios.